Welcome to the weekly shir, almost weekly. It's getting to be back to weekly. The Vizer Shimshon, and it's Ches Shabbat. Mitzvah Hashem will be soon Tu B'Shvat. Hopefully everything will get warmer here. We still see flowers all over the place, and it's been very nice. This is a piece in the Parshas Bo from this week's Parsha. It's Kapitel Dalet, and I thought it was very interesting. I might cut out some parts that are not pertinent, but we'll try to get through it a little longer. But the pasuk says, "L'chol b'nei Yisrael lo yechatz kelev shaynai." The Jewish, everybody knows about this, that you have a nasty dog. You say this pasuk, "L'chol Yisrael b'nei Yisrael lo yechatz kelev shaynai." To all the Jewish people, the dog did not bark. Okay, very interesting piece of information. Kasha, ma'u lehamei ish ve'ad behema. In the same pasuk it says, from a man until an animal. So, first of all, the Zar Shimshon asks, what do we have to tell Parah this? What's it negea to the Makkah? This is Makkah's B'chayres. Im Taimer Kedei Sheyeda Ashi Yifla Shem. Well, if you say it's because he wants to let Parah know that God has separated the Jews and is doing wondrous things for them. All the other Makkahs also, he separated the Jews. They didn't get the Makkahs. If anything, they got healed. And there was miracles done to the Jews and not to the Goyim. So what does it help? The dog would bark, he wouldn't bark. Okay, the main amazing thing would be the actual Makkah that he killed the B'chayres. Only the non-Jews, the Mitzrayim, died, but not the Jews. In order that you should know, the mashma had imloy hayazeh hefresh shel nevichas hakelav lo hayu hamitzrayim yoidim sheheflashim. If it wouldn't have been for the dogs not barking, they wouldn't have known the difference. It's strange. Rozeh tema. Ve'oid hayolay lemer asher yimafle. It should have said he distinguished them, the Jews. When they knew this, they already understood the difference from between the Jews and the non-Jews. This is the intention of the psukim. Parah thought Parah thought in his big bio-gaiva that this would not only affect the Mitzrayim, it would affect also the Jews. Right? And the Jews would not be saved. Ve'im tavoi the Mitzrayim tavoi afli Yisrael. Ve'im loy tavoi l'Yisrael loy tavoi afli Mitzrayim. So he thought, if it's going to happen to the Jews, to the non-Jews, it will happen to the Jews. And if it's not going to happen to the non-Jews, it won't happen to the Jews either. So Kadosh Baruch is telling him in this pasuk, he's letting him know that this is going to come for only the Egyptians and not the Jews. The Isa, the Midrash, Shemakas b'chayres ha'isa midas adin mekatreges. So this is a problem with the Midas Adin. There's always this Yetzer Hara that's starting up with the Jews, right? He doesn't like the Jews getting anything good. So he said, well, what's that? They were both worshiping Avodah Zarah. Why should the Jews be different? What's the difference between the Jews and the non-Jews? The Kasha. Why Dafka in this Makkah there was initiated this kind of accusation against the Jews? There was 9 other Makkahs before that. Yesh the tars to be shlema shar makay soya boys al koishi leiv pares shazilza bechved Hashem. So the other makas came because of the difficulty of the heart of Parai, that he was cheapened the honor of God and not Bishul Yisrael. Omnam Maka zu shehi v'shayna shehi Yisrael by b'nei b'chayri Yisrael. This was the first Makkah that Moshe Rabbeinu warned the Parai that these are my children. These are God's children. So I'm going to kill you. This is the Makkah that was the original Tanai. This is the original condition that Avram got promised from God. He said, Dan Anochi, that I will judge the Mitzrim. The Amur Zal, the Mishnah Shmais Rabbah says, Zeu Makas B'chayres. What does he mean, Dan Anochi? He's going to judge the Egyptians with Makas B'chayres, the firstborn. This came because of the Jewish people. Mishum Hachi Midas Adin Haisa Mekatragas. Therefore, Midas Adin, the negative side of the heavenly court, would have tinus and start up with the Jews. Why are they deserving and only Egyptians dying? So why did Avram get revealed by God that he was going to dafka send this makkah of b'chayres to Paroi and the Egyptians? Ki lo hayadai lehavtiach lo ladun oisam be'ezah din or be'ezah makkah shetzarich ad sheyotza misham. Wouldn't he be enough to be promised that he would judge them with some kind of ridiculous makkah? I mean, I think all the makkahs are pretty horrific, but this was the worst, and that they could go out after that. Okay, what do we need? 10, and dafka the pinnacle would be makas b'chayres. Kacha yeloi leimer v'gam esagoy asher yavdu yavoidu adonai and acha kach yitzu. So in that nation, he didn't say specifically it was going to be the Egyptians, but he said the goy, the non-Jewish nation that they'll serve you and they'll make you work, they'll enslave you. I will judge them, and afterwards you'll go out. Why do you have to say this specifically, the Makkah that was going to affect the non-Jews? You're forced to say that he revealed this specific Makkah of Makkah's B'chayres to Avram Avinu, that they were going to be holy to Hashem. And excuse me, still my throat is not so doing so good. And all those that try to consume the Jewish people will be punished. And the reason they are so holy because they are the firstborn. And that's why the Egyptians got this Makkah, Mida Keneged Mida. You start up with my kids, my firstborn, then you get it. In your firstborn. From the beginning of creation, the Bechayres were already holy, sanctified. And after that, the Nachash cast a tumah on Chava, that they had a pagam, they had a blemish in them specifically. The fisha shoyavim zuhamas imam. They sucked out, they imbibed this tumah from their mother. But in Egypt, they were purified from this impure tumah, and defilement, and they went back to their original holiness. V'mitzrim kashu b'chayreim b'klipa kedei shelo yatzu Yisrael misham le'olam. And they had some kind of magic trick that they tied up the b'chayrim with the klipa, so that the Jewish people would not ever go out from there. That's why it says they could never get out. They were never able to escape Egypt. Therefore, God had to nullify this this sorcery that was on the firstborn, in order to nullify and eradicate all their magic, their sorcery. Okay. V'yadua shenasan Yisrael shtei mitzvos she'yisasku behem kedei she'yigalo. So we know that the Jewish people are given 2 mitzvahs to be engaged in order that they should be redeemed. Kedei she'hamidas adin lo tiyah yachol lishleit behem b'mitzvah megina, the mitzvah megina, so that the Yetzer Hara, the prosecuting attorney in heaven, shouldn't have any complaints or legitimate tainas against the Jewish people, because the mitzvah will protect them. Therefore, no dog barked. But against why didn't the dogs bark for the animals? It was at the time when there was still supervision over the klipa from them. The mishamra shnia klavim tzeakim. I'm sorry, mishmara shnia. The Gemara in Brachos and Daf Gimel says there's three mishmores of the Laila, and the second mishmar, the dogs are barking, right? V'im kol zeh omar hakasav l'meish ve'ad behema. V'lamakach, why is that? Elavad etzorach le'mash tafishi Yisrael yotza legamre mitachas rishus haklipa v'nichnasu v'nidbaku b'kedusha. So this is to tell you that the Jewish people went completely out under the jurisdiction of the klippers, the husks, the negative husks in Egypt, and they entered into the level and is clinging to holiness. And when they're attached to the Shechina, they are called holy. So anybody that attaches, that makes a blemish in the Jewish people, or their money, by the way, they make a blemish in holy things and holy things that are grown from them. Like it says, Kodesh Yisrael Hashem Reishis Tefuasai Kol Eichalav Ye'eshamu. Okay, it's a pasuk in Yirmiyahu. The holy people, Jewish people, are the beginning of his crops, and all them that eat the Jewish people or consume them in some way, they are blameworthy. Okay, ve'im timer halo yadayin yish pischan pela midas adin leimar shisra ato inam ru'im lidibo kashchina. Well, it'll still say, well, the Yetzer Hara can come and say, well, they're not fitting to be clinging to the Shechina yet. Ve'in zedin emes lasois misha ina zoicha kezoicha. So it's not true. It's not a true din that you should cling to somebody that's not privileged to that yet. Kadei legroim nezek l'mitzrim, in order to cause damage to the non-Jews. Mishumachi siyam akrav omar laman teidun. That's what the pasuk ends over here. In order that they will know, they will comprehend. Klemer the hatam shezochu yisrael the dibu kashchina. Who? The reason why the Jewish people were privileged to be attached to the Shechina is because the Fisha Kadosh Baruch Hu dan al hamachshava kemaisa, because God judges thoughts processes by goyim just as if they did it. And also the Jewish people have a good thought. They wanted to be clinging to God. Hashtei mitzvah and nasan like they did the two mitzvahs, the Korban Pesach and Bris Milah. And that's what he means. V'zeu she'omer asher yiflo Hashem, that God separated them. He showed them how distant they were from the Goyim. Shelo asid kishi yisrael kabbalah Torah, that when in the future when the Jews are going to receive the Torah, yadin kach, that will be then will be that way. Shekish shall be Yisrael mitiv lahem yishal atayv shasid lasais, that the Jews are doing good, will be done good to, giving them benefit because of the mitzvah that they're going in the future to do. And by the Umas Ha'olam, he calculates the evil that they're going to do as if it's done. The machshava tova shel Yisrael hari hi k'maiser, because a good thought of a Jew is like doing the deed itself. And the opposite is by the Goyim, that a bad thought is considered as if they did it. And by the way, by a Jew, if he thinks to do avodah zarah, it's not a aveira yet. I mean, it's not right, but he can't be punished for that. But a non-Jew can. It says it says in Shmeister that my firstborn are the Jewish people. I'm going to kill the Bechayres because of this. Omer b'Midrash Rabbah, it says Sha'ayvid b'Chayres dinhu shelaka. It's somebody that uses works with Bechayres, he should be punished. He should be given lashes. Mishamachi kapid kol idea zeh the pare kishehisra alav amakas Bechayres kadeshi yishma hatam v'yamin ba ve'al yisyayish mimena. And then one more little piece here. Why do they want to tell Dafka Pare this? That maybe he wanted to give a little opening for tshuva. It's brought in the Midrash Rabbah al Pasuk Ochein Noida Hadavar. However, it was found out when Moshe killed the Mitzri, and then the Das of Aviram came and said, "Oh, we know that you did that." So he said, "Oh, the people are speaking Lashon Hara about me." He was thinking in his heart, that what did the Jewish people sin that they are put into subjugation from all other nations? Since he heard those words of Das of Aviram, so he said, the Jews are speaking Lashon Hara. So how are they going to be fit to be redeemed? And we frat with Perek Gimel the Machas, and in the third Perek on the Machas it says, okay. And then it says in the Parshas Veschanan, ala pasuk betzar lecha neocha lo yinigalu avesehim mimitzrayim elo megazachus tshuva. The Jews were only redeemed from Egypt because of the merit of tshuva. When the dogs saw the Jewish people going out, they didn't run after them. They didn't bark. Shmamina she'asu tshuva royim legula. So we understand that they did tshuva, and they were privileged to get redeemed. Dafka, the Caleb didn't bark, didn't say anything with his tongue. Why did he have to say the tongue? He doesn't bark with his tongue. And anyway, he means mechuvan el lashon hara. He means talking lashon hara, right? So that they were misakin that chait, and therefore they were zeicha to the geula. Okay, everybody have a wonderful Shabbos. I'm sorry it was a little longer, but it's a geshmaka piece, and I wanted to share it with everybody. All right, and hopefully it'll make up for a few weeks that I couldn't speak. All right, have a wonderful Shabbos. Kol Tov. Bye.